All right. So here we are. So when we want to set up, the role-based access control in Microsoft 365, what we can do is we can go and select users. We can go in and select a user in this organization. Let's say I want to use this user here. Oh, this is not an internal user. Let's see, this is an internal user. Then I can go to this user, and here we can see roles. And in this case, we see that this user does not have any roles assigned at this moment. But we can do manage roles, and we can then go and say, okay, what kind of roles do we want to add for this user? We can make this user an Exchange administrator, a global administrator, a global reader, some generic stuff as well. Or we can even do this by category here. And now you can see all the different roles that you may think are necessary for these users. Some of the roles are super cool, like being a global admin. You can do everything. Well, not everything, but a lot of things. Some of the roles here, they are really, really, really crappy. For example, you could become you could become a printer technician. That is not a cool role. You have to work with printers. We don't like printers. Sometimes we do. We agreed on that, but sometimes we don't. So here we can start pushing out roles to these individuals. The problem with this is that if this user, for example, is an Exchange administrator in this way, so if I have this user and now I have assigned for this user that role, then this user is always an Exchange administrator. So yes, this may be just enough access, but for sure, it's not just in time access, because this user is not doing Exchange stuff all the time. Sometimes he just is going to write an email in Outlook. I know it's related to Exchange, but it's not an Exchange admin thing. Or maybe he is working in a Teams meeting. We don't need to be an Exchange admin at that point. So what we want is we want a different way of setting permissions to our users, and privileged identity management is that way, because privileged identity management is about just enough access, but it will add just in time to it. So thinking about that, what we can do here is we can configure privileged identity management for both the Azure Active Directory part of your Microsoft Azure tenant. That's the part where where Exchange Online and SharePoint is, and all the Microsoft 365 stuff. Or you can enable this for the Azure Resource Manager subscriptions in your tenant, like people allowed to create or delete virtual machines, or people that allow to create databases or application services or virtual networks. This is the other side of your Azure tenant. So if I want to set this up, I can go into Microsoft Entra Roles here, and then I can start managing the roles. So here we can see the complete list of all the roles that we know in Azure Active Directory or Entra ID. Here, for example, there is the printer technician again. Here is, for example, the security administrator or a Teams administrator. Or if we go a little bit further up, there should be the Exchange admin. So if I want that user that I just assigned the Exchange admin permissions, if I want to allow that user to become an Exchange admin, but not permanently, only when he or she needs it, then I want to go in here. I can check out my assignments. I can see no one has been assigned that role yet, but I can now go in and say, you know what, this specific member that I just used, Sige, that's my son. So Sige has an account in my tenant. He doesn't know about that, but hey, he has one. So here we are. So this is his account. Then here we can go and say, okay, is this user eligible to become an Exchange admin? That means, is this a just-in-time assignment? Or am I going to do the same thing as I just did before, and that is make it permanent? I want this to be eligible, like this. And you can actually see that the maximum allowed eligible duration is 3 months. So after 3 months, this is going to be taken away from him. I'm going to take away his Exchange admin possibilities after 3 months. Now, you can change these settings. You can change how we can do this for the Exchange admin role. So this is just the membership, right? This is the setting for that role, and I can assign this for now. And that means that that person is now eligible to become an Exchange admin. From this person's perspective, if I would be him, I would have to go to the My Roles section here. Then I can see the roles that I am eligible to fulfill. And if I want to activate that role, so if I want to become a Teams admin, now I will have to click the activate button. I will have to tell why. So I need to do what is it? Teams stuff. You can see that the maximum duration per activation in this example is 1 hour. And then I click activate, and then it will go through a couple of stages, and it will then activate that role for that specific user for just 1 hour. After 1 hour, the permissions are taken away from that user. And you have to reactivate it, or within the hour, extend, because you might need more. So if that is the case, if this is done, in active assignments, it will show my Teams administrator permission. In my case, for my user objects, I'm not my son. I already have a couple of other assignments that I have made permanently for my user object. But this one here is temporary. This is just in time. Now, if I want to control how long per activation we could be using this kind of permission, or if I want to control for how long and what kind of period we are allowed to do that eligible assignments. For example, the one on Exchange was limited to 3 months. We can go into privileged identity management. We can manage the Entra roles here. We can then go into the roles themselves again. I can go back into the Exchange admin role like this. And then instead of going into the assignments wizard, I want to go into the settings. And now I can go and tell all kinds of things about the temporary access for that role. For example, the per activation maximum duration goes from half an hour to 24 hours and anything in between. So I can say, hey, if you need to do Exchange stuff, I want you're allowed to activate this for 3 hours, not just for 2, for 3. I'm going to require MFA if you want that. Or I'm going to require a justification on activation. When I was activating Teams for myself, I said something like, I need to do team stuff. That is the justification. I can also require information from a ticketing system like ServiceNow maybe, or any other ticketing system you might be using for your organization. And one of the things that is super cool, I didn't do that with Teams, but I can even require approval for activation. So instead of a user being able to completely, by him or herself, activate that role at the time of need, we can also point and say, hey, but someone else in your organization has to go and approve on this, maybe the manager. Hey, you want to do Exchange stuff? Request access. The approver will then go and say, that's okay. And then your role will be assigned for you for the time that it is allowed here for that user.
When you require solution, so for example, the manager or some of this, how she receive that.
So yeah, so your question is, if you are the approver, how would you know someone needs access, right? You will get an email.
Email to.
Yeah, you will, the approver will get an email. Yeah. No, no pop-up. You will get an email, which is sort of sketchy, I think, because that might not be too interactive. Typically, what you want to do there is you may want to go and say, hey, maybe I want to do some exchange stuff tomorrow morning. So I'm going to request now for tomorrow morning. That is something that you can do. And here we can also select the approvers. So I do have an alternate option here. Let's say I actually configured this for a certain other user. So here we have another browser. Let's say I want to sign in as somebody named Bruce Banner. That is one of my demo accounts. So Bruce Banner at moab.ms. Here I can enter the password for Bruce Banner. I think I know the password. I'm not super sure. See? Wait a second. Man, I thought I knew the password. Otherwise, we'll have to. Crap! I mean, ooh. So let's just go in and change or reset this user's password for now. So here we have Bruce.
From our lab.
Yeah, this is no, this is my own lab. Where is the reset password option? Let's open it up. I would be able to. Yeah, here we are. So I'm gonna reset the password for now. So resetting password. This is it. All right. So Bruce will have to change the password. So let's try again. Open an in private window. Okay, here we go. So it's office.com. Then sign in. Bruce Banner at moab.ms. Here we go. Let's paste that password in. Now I need to change the password probably. Oh, crap. No. See, this is my, no, it's not a Tor browser. It's my identity protection thing. Oh, man. Okay, always when you want to do a cool demo, right? There's something going on. User at the, let's see. No, I have it's a policy.
You can go in there and say, okay, this is around
Yeah, what I want to do.
What about the reset password?
No, it's the
Authentication method.
yeah, oh yeah, that's a smart idea. So, but the thing is that the sign-in was blocked. There was something unusual about this sign-in for that user. Yeah, this is identity protection. This is what it's supposed to do, right? However, maybe for now, I just want to go and switch my security policy off, right? Then I want to go back to permission to privileged identity access. Now I will be able to sign in. So let me just go and open up another in private window. Well, this is a very smooth demo, as you can see. So again, office.com. Bruce Banner, you are close to be signing in. Okay, Bruce Banner at moab.ms. Again, use that password. So here we go. No! What? Okay, maybe I'm too fast. This is annoying. This is super annoying. Let's try one more time. Bruce, where are you? Bruce Banner at moab.ms. Yo. Enter password. Go. Sign in, please. Here we go. Now sign in works. So now I need to do the multi-factor thingy for Bruce Banner. Here we are. Now I need to change the password that I was expecting. So what do I want to have here? Oh, this one. Oh, you know what? I'm thinking maybe I already changed the password to something that I'm trying to change it to now. Ah, that seems to work. All right. So now, okay, good. We are signed in. Just to make sure that we know what we were doing again. So what we did is we have enabled privileged identity management, and then for a couple of roles, like for example, let's say the Teams administrator role, I think, Teams administrator role. When we think about the eligible assignments, let's see who we gave this option. Okay, super fast, thank you. You know what? Just to be sure, I'm gonna add Bruce Banner here. So just to make sure, Bruce Banner now is eligible to become a Teams admin. Also, I want to go back. I'm going to go and take the Exchange admin role. Yeah, did it? Okay, let me just quickly do a quick check here. So I'm going to add Exchange. I'm going to go and try Bruce Banner here as well. Next, assign. This worked, right? So at least one worked. Then let's check back with Teams, because it would be nice to show you what it looks like here. So we have the Teams admin role. Ah, it's here. Okay, so we have Bruce Banner has signed in, but Bruce Banner is just a normal user. Actually, Bruce Banner is a very sad user, because Bruce Banner doesn't even have admin permissions anywhere, right? So Bruce Banner has no administrative permissions. Now, if Bruce Banner wants to activate his permissions, Bruce Banner would have to go to entra.microsoft.com, like this. Then Bruce Banner will have to go to Identity Governance, Privileged Identity Management. Then he would have to click My Roles. And here, oh, he did get some others. Like I knew I did something with that user. So here we can see the eligible assignments, right? So if I want to become a Teams admin, let's first try that, right? Let's try to go to admin.teams.microsoft.com, right? Because at this point in time, no access. Also at this point in time, admin.exchange.microsoft.com. If I go here, also no access. Doesn't work. You know, there's nothing for us here, so that's not going to work. So let's get rid of these. Now I am here. I want to activate the Teams role. So I can say, hey, the reason is I need to have access because I need it. Very good reasoning from Bruce Banner. Or if it's Bruce Banner, you may want to just go and say, Hulk smash. That's Bruce Banner is the Hulk. So, oh, come on, and with exclamation marks like that. So if I want to enable privileged identity management, which David Beckham knows all about, I know, with privileged so if you check this out, we can now Bruce Banner can activate Teams admin role for himself. This is an automated process, so there is no approver in between, because that is optional. So you can see we go through the different steps here, and then, well, the result will be that Bruce Banner has that Teams admin role activated, like this. So it's now done. It will refresh my page in 3, 2, 1. And now if I check here in active assignments, we can now see that indeed that Teams admin role has activated. The other role was the Exchange role, but for the Exchange role, I have assigned an approver, which is me, by the way. So if I go and activate that Exchange role, you can see that the maximum duration is different from Teams, because per role we can set what the per activation time limit is. Here is my second also smash Exchange, like this. So we need to get a reason Then I want to activate, but now something different happens. Instead of showing me the 1, 2, 3 steps, it is now going to activate the role by telling the approver that a role has to be activated for a certain user. So I can keep waiting here, but nothing will happen at this point because, well, nobody activated this yet. That makes sense, I think. Let me just quickly check, because what I should get anytime now is an email saying, hey, Bruce Banner needs approval for activating the this. So here, this is the request. So Bruce Banner is assigned here. Oh, this is not the request. This is just an update that I did this. This is the request. Approve or deny Bruce Banner's request to activate the Exchange Administrator role. And we can see we can open this link, and that link will take me to here. And if I go into Privileged Identity Management, then here I have the Approve Request section. Here I can see Bruce's request. I can select it and now approve or deny. Let's, for the purpose of the demo, be friendly to Bruce. Let's approve this. Then one of the parts is that I also have to set up a justification. So alrighty then, confirm. Now I have approved the request. So Bruce Banner can start trying to press the refresh button, and now we see that Bruce Banner indeed has the just-in-time access for this exchange role. So, being Bruce Banner, admin.teams.microsoft.com. Shoot, nothing yet. Maybe I need to sign out and sign back in again. Let's do the other one, admin.exchange.microsoft.com. Well, we still have not a lot of stuff going on here, right? So you know what? I need to sign in again. So I'm going to go in here. Then let's go to office.com first. Sign in as Bruce Banner at moab.ms. Here we go. Enter the password. Oh yeah, what was that again?
No.
I created a new password, right? Yes. Here we go. Multi-factor authentication. Thank you. So,
Need to let me know that I'm not joining because I want to see this.
all right. So here we are. I am signed in. So, okay. All right. So I got this here. Oh, by the way, in the meantime, I got this email message as well. The request from Bruce Banner to activate Exchange role in the alexdejonge.com directory has been approved. Right? So we get these messages. So that is an email that I also got. And it totally depends on your settings.
Because you are a manager.
I got it because I am the,
Global manager.
yeah, I got this because I am the security administrator.
Security administrator.
Yeah. That's why I get these emails. And I am the approver, right? So that is in this case. So if I check out now my options here, right? Still nothing special, but if I want to go into admin.teams.microsoft.com now, I should have that permission. And yes, I can now start to manage Teams. So I have assigned, so for Teams, I created that automated approval. And if I want to go to admin.exchange.microsoft.com here, then I also have the Exchange admin portal to my well, exposure. So privileged identity management is the way to implement just enough and just in time access for admins. And one of the other things that you may also like from this part, if you go to the Entra roles section here, we can manage the roles like this, right? Per role, we can go in and say, hey, how do we need to approve? What is the activation per approval, or what is the duration per activation? What are we going to require before this is allowed? How can we assign this role to people? For example, do we require MFA for assignments? And who is going to be notified about all this? So who is getting the emails? That is what we can set up per role here. Here in assignments, we get a nice overview of all the assignments in one page. So what are all the eligible assignments that we have? What are all the active assignments that we have? What are the expired assignments, if there are any? In settings, we can also check per setting whether or not we have been modifying settings or not, right? So are they modified from the defaults? You can set up some kind of alerts here. You can say, hey, are there any roles, for example, that do not require multi-factor authentication for activation? Yes, there is in fact 2 of them. These 2. Maybe we want to change that, right? Maybe we want to fix that, and automatically change that. Or is there a potential stale accounts in privileged use? Are there any users in my organization that have some kind of privileged access but are not using it? Right? That is something that we might want to go and think of. And also we can fix that, which will take away all the privileged admin permissions.
So that's if you have well, if you have used the privilege for the last 6 months, for instance.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. So if you have if you have been assigned a role, but you're not using it, you will get that.
I see that from
You can only see it here. Yeah, you can only see it here. Oh, well, there is one other location. If you go to identity, if you go to identity protection here, then what you get to see, I think at one point, oh, that's interesting. We used to have a button here that would say, well, we have security.microsoft.com. Security.microsoft.com will also give you some clues because we have something called the secure score here. And in the secure score, you will get all kinds of recommendations. For example, my identity secure score is 87. So there is some improvements that I can take. You will get those recommendations. And those recommendations that we find here in identity governance under privileged identity management, when we think about those, when we think about the alerts, these ones, they are also set as recommendations in your Microsoft 365 Defender environment. Also, oh, by the way, there is, by the way, a difference here between the potential stale accounts and eligible administrators. So eligible administrators are not activating their role. That is users that are active but not are using their roles. Stale accounts are users that do not sign in at all.
okay.
So that's a difference. So eligible admins, these are users that are signing in. Yeah, privileged identity. Yeah, PIM. You can see it via PIM. And the, yeah, exactly. Because it's a PIM solution. And we can see that in my case, I have too many. This is what it says. There is too many global admins. In my case, it says, well, there's 4. Maybe so I can go say, hey, you know what, this account here, I may want to go and fix that one here. And what this will do, now that user is no longer a global admin, right? That's how you can fix those alerts. It's
What
It's-
license then on is that
when you need licenses for this, you will need the Entra ID Plan 2 license.
Yeah.
That is what you require.
you only need it for the users who want to use PIM or
No, you will need, well, yeah, you need the license for those people that need to use PIM.
yeah.
So you don't need this for all of your users. You will need this for the admins that need this, right? That
And if we want to share access or privilege to some users, then those users would want to ask access need license as well.
they also need the Plan 2 license. Yeah. Yeah. My personal opinion is that everybody in an organization should have at least the Microsoft 365 E5 license. And I know that is way too expensive for many organizations. Yeah, if you have Microsoft 365 E3, that does not contain PIM, and it does also not contain identity protection. But I think if you look at what an employee costs on a monthly basis, then the price of Microsoft 365 E5 to protect everything that user does in Office and add more and more and more monitoring and protection, then the price of Microsoft 365 E5 compared to what the employee costs anyway is like only a very, very small portion. So I don't see any reason not to do it. But that's my personal opinion. I know that many organizations will think, oh, but now I have to spend like $20,000 extra per month on licensing, maybe. It's about $20 difference. So I'm not really sure about that, but per user. But if you think about people they get salary. You need to you have insurances for people. You need to pay for their pensions. Sometimes they have a car. They get a computer, a phone subscription. All the costs of an employee on a monthly basis is probably like $5,000-6,000. Let's talk dollars. $5,000-6,000 per month. Then that $20 is virtually nothing. So why are you not doing the protection that you can do for just $20? That's my personal opinion. I know that I have a strong one, and I think I'm right, but I always think I'm right.
E5 includes
E5 includes not everything nowadays. For example, Teams Premium is not part of E5. Microsoft Priva, which is a special privacy module, is not part of E5. Intune Suite, it's like special Intune stuff for admins, is not part of E5. So there is still some things that you might want to add on top of E5 for certain users. Copilot is actually supposed to be released today, is not part of E5. So I hope that Microsoft soon will release a Microsoft 365 E7 that will contain everything again. And I would immediately purchase that. Even if it would cost me $100 per month, I wouldn't care, because in my case it's easy. I need all of that because I need to show you. That's my job. I'm not sure what Copilot will cost, but I think I've heard like $30 per user per month. 30. That's like quite a bit, but it also requires a lot of machine learning and AI compute power. So somewhere it makes sense. It's not it's a very expensive solution. Hey, PIM. PIM, Privileged Identity Management, allows for just in time access. One more thing about PIM. So we got like the roles and the assignments and the alerts. Also what you can do is enable access reviews. An access review, what this does is that you can monitor access to, in this example, for example, you can monitor access for for Exchange Online. And you can then go and say, okay, and who is going to review that access? And the cool part here is that we will monitor over a certain period of time, and we get results back that says, hey, you have some people in your organization, you have given them access to Exchange administration privileges. In the last 4 weeks, these people have not used it. The recommendation is, as part of the access review, the recommendation is to take away those permissions from those users. And you can even go and automatically apply that. So that helps you figuring out, what has been going on. So here we can see, for example, the results of the access review, who is the reviewers and the settings. I can actually see something here that says after October 30, 2023, like the day before yesterday, some capabilities, and you will have to purchase a new Microsoft Entra ID governance license. Click here to learn more, and you need either one of those licenses here, right? So I need Entra Premium Plan 2 to get access to that kind of feature. So this is also again a Plan 2 component, those access reviews. However, I want to zoom out. That is another thing that might be interesting to be working with. Okay, you know what? Let's go back like this, because otherwise this is taking too much time. So access reviews. Next to that, we have Discovery and Insights. And what I like about Discovery and Insights is that it gives us some overall information on my environment. Like the alerts, they give us the same information, but here we have like this nice button-based view as well. And also we have some general settings on. We have some general settings here, but those are again all the roles. And here we can go per role, go in and say, okay, what about how we assign permissions to people inside that environment? So this is how to set up privileged identity management in Entra ID.